Hey YouTube, this is med student 1234. Um, if you find yourself rejected from every medical school you've applied to, um, you're not alone. There are many students who find themselves in this situation. It's a shock when you realize the situation. It's a little depressing when you have your friends, off to Harvard and Stanford and, other great Duke, Northwestern, and other great medical schools, and you have nothing. You have all rejection letters. Pre-interview, post-interview, doesn't really matter. It's just rejection letters. You have nowhere to go, and you've put in all this effort, and you've done what you needed to do. You worked hard for your GPA. You studied hard for the MCAT. You worked hard on your essay. You practiced for the interviews, and you still get rejected from every single school. Some are either fortunate or unfortunate enough to get rejected outright from every school even before interviews. Others go through the whole process of secondaries and interviews and paying for flights, etc., and then find out that they didn't get accepted. Or find out that, they've been waitlisted. And no matter, how wonderful you are, what a great doctor you'll be, the school, for some reason or another, didn't find you competitive enough to accept into their incoming class. And you're left sort of hanging. But I just wanted to say, don't hang up your hat. This isn't the end. You didn't come this far to just let everything go. You didn't come this far to then, say, oh, well, I can just be a, fill in the blank. If medicine is what you want to do, take this, once the shock is, settled down, of course, but take this as an opportunity. Successful people fail. Successful people get stronger from failure. They learn from failure. And you look at the history of any successful person, and you will see that they had their share of pain, their share of cries, their share of moments where they wanted to give up, their share of people telling them they can do it, their share of people telling them no. But they didn't stop. They kept going. And if medicine is truly what you want to do, then you want to keep going. Again, once the shock wears off, regroup. If it's the GPA, there's options. You can either take extra classes. You can go to graduate school for a year or two. You can go to a post-bac program. Find mentors. Find people who have taken that route and have succeeded. Talk to them. If it's the MCAT score, we all know that, schools screen based on MCAT scores. And there are just some people who would be great doctors. They just can't, do well on the MCAT for one reason or another. Doesn't mean you can't be a great doctor. Doesn't mean you can't learn the material. So if that's you, you can either, try to retake the MCAT. For some people this helps, and they do better, but for a lot of people, they retake it, and they either do a little worse or they do about the same, and it really doesn't change anything. One key thing, of course, is you kind of have to change your study style and your approach if you're going to retake the MCAT. But that's an option. You can retake the MCAT, study harder, study longer, and see if it makes a difference. Usually, the letters of recommendation are supposed to help you. And if you have any doubt that someone is writing you a great letter, then don't use their letter. But a lot of times, the letters are usually not the problem. If you got a lot of interviews and then didn't get accepted, maybe it's your interview skill. Maybe next time you can find a medical student, find a physician, someone you can talk to over the phone, even if you don't have anyone in your area. Find a mentor, find a counselor, and do that practice interview, and do it several times until you feel comfortable doing well in a medical school interview. Because a lot of times if they don't like you during the interview, then it just makes it a lot harder to get in. I think that I've sort of covered the three main things, or three main reasons why students don't get accepted: the GPA, the MCAT score, the interview. But aside from not getting accepted, it's really, your reaction to it. Trust me when I say there are many, many students in medical school now, many physicians who didn't get in the first time, didn't get in the first try. And they were devastated. They didn't give up. They tried again. They got in. Some people tried a second time or a third time. But eventually they get in if that's what they want to do. So this is just, for those of you who find yourself without an acceptance, or find yourself, with scores that are not competitive at all. It's not over. And also, I think, if your scores are low, your GPA is low, make sure to apply broadly. No one, basically the top schools are not the only schools you can get into. The top schools are not the only schools that make doctors. And so you need to just think outside the box a little bit and apply a little bit more broadly. Apply to different regions of the country that you might not necessarily see yourself living in. But if your goal is to become a physician, maybe you should consider those places. Don't give up. Message me if you have any questions. This situation, like being in a situation where you're not going to be a medical student next year. Like being in that situation feels really horrible, especially when you're surrounded by the happiness and cheers of your classmates who are going. But again, look at it as an opportunity to be better, to improve yourself, and to prepare yourself for medical school and for a career in medicine. I hope this is somewhat helpful. Again, if you have any comments, you can leave them. If you have any questions at all, you can send me a message. I might not get back to you right away, but I will get back to you. You can also leave a message on my channel, and hopefully I'll get to that. But I hope that this is at least somewhat helpful. Good luck, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.